Hey everybody, this is Jason Long with Life After, and here today to talk to you for our second part on goal setting and New Year's resolutions. Yesterday we discussed SMART goals, and you can go check out that video on the criteria for setting your goals. And today I'm going to talk to you about the length of time for your goals and why you should set a 12-week goal instead of a 1-year goal. The main reason is that it's easier to focus for 12 weeks. How many people do you see posting their New Year's resolutions and within the first few weeks or whatever, they're gone and they never really come back to them? Well, with a 12-week goal, you're going to consistently come back to those goals over and over again, and that 12 weeks is a lot easier for you to focus on rather than for you to have time to lose track, and you're going to have to really to dive down deep to get it done. Some notes on this, and I'll be sharing a book on this. The book on this a little bit later. It's called The 12-Week Year. But I don't know if you are like this, but if we normally expand our lives, our time, to fill whatever time frame is given to us for a project. I'm sure many of you in school, if you're like me at all, you're given 8 weeks to write a paper, and that paper was written the last week or maybe even the last night before hand. So we had 8 weeks to do it, but yet all of it got done those last few nights, and we got it done in about 2 days. So, or maybe it's like cleaning your house. If you don't have a time frame to do it on, it's going to take you a lot longer to actually get it done because you just kind of piddle paddle and take forever to get it done. But if you have a definitive time frame to do it, you can get a lot more done. It's kind of like the day before vacation or the week before vacation. You have to get everything done, so you are going to get it all done, and that's actually one of your most effective times in your work life. And the other reason is things can drastically change for you between this 12 months and next 12 months. Say you're losing weight, which is one of my main goals. It's easier for you in the first, when you first start losing the weight, to lose larger amounts of weight. And then it's slowly going to get harder. Those last few pounds, as people say, are always the hardest to get off. So for me, I've got a lot of weight to lose. I'm going to try to lose 15 pounds a month for the first 3 months, 12 pounds a month for the next 3, etc. Also, there's different times in your life. What are you doing during those different times of the year? Summer, if you've got kids, summer is very different from the rest of the year when the kids are out of school. So you can set a different time frame and a different goal setting for those 12 months than the other time. I work in politics, and for the first 6 months of the year, for the first 2 quarters, that's in session. For the second 2 quarters, that's out of session. Vastly different time frames and what's going on in your life. So you don't want to set a yearly goal. You want to set goals if you set those in those 12 weeks, it's easier to talk about what's actually going on during that time. It creates this constant sense of urgency for you to get that done because you're looking forward to that end goal that's coming up rather quickly. It's not coming up in a year, which seems like a long time, and we all know it's not, but it seems like a long time. It's coming up in 3 months, in 12 weeks. And then to make this successful, though, a couple of tips for you. You need to own your results. So many people out there want to play victim. They want to say, well, this happened and that happened and I just couldn't get it done because of that. Stop it. Whatever happened last year, stop it. You're not a victim. Yes, things maybe, and there are real victims out there. There are things that happen, but if you are playing life as a victim, then you can't own your life to get things done. Everything has to happen to you. You can't happen to it. I was over 400 pounds when I started this journey. That's nobody else's fault. Well, my mother didn't teach me good nutrition, and I had emotional issues, and the hormones were off, and all this stuff. Oh, no, I'm not a victim. That was my fault. I got to that position. I am responsible for that, and because I am responsible for that, I can now do something to fix it. And that is 90% of the things in our lives. There are things that you can't, that other people did do something to you, but that is much rarer than we want to allow it to be. So take as much ownership of your life and the things that are happening in your life as possible, because that way you can not only own because if you own the failures, then you can own the successes. If all the failures are somebody else's responsibility, then all the successes have to be somebody else's responsibility as well. And I want to own my success. That's my success. I did that. When I lose this weight, nobody else did that. Yes, I had help, but I'm the one that took the initiative. I'm the one that did that. I'm the reason I'm 40 pounds lighter than I was 3 months ago. That's on me. I get to own that, because I also had to own that the reason I was at 423 pounds was my fault as well. Sometimes in life we're going to fail, and because we fail to prioritize. That's actually what happens a lot of the time, is that we did not prioritize life. It's like, well, I didn't have time to go to the gym. Sure, you got the same 24 hours as I do. We all have time. What we don't have time is if we fail to prioritize that time. You have time, you fill that with something else. Now, you can say, I didn't prioritize it for good reasons. Maybe you needed to spend more time with your kids. Maybe an illness happened, and it was better to go off and spend that time with a family member, to go be with that friend, whatever it may be. But you had the time. It's just your priorities did not allow for the time. So make sure that the time is that you're prioritizing your time whenever possible. One way to do this is to create accountability. And that means not just that's not just posting your goals on Facebook, especially like this time of year when everybody else is. Having some sort of accountability in place. For me, I'm using a system called Diet Bet, and that's where I actually put up a couple $100 to Diet Bet, and if I don't lose the weight in a regular order, I lose all of that money. So I have to be consistently losing the weight, or I'm going to lose that money, and that is pretty hurtful to me. I need that money. So that's one way to have accountability, is to use that, or to go to a friend and say, here's $100. If I don't lose this weight, you get to keep this $100. And to have people out there in your life that know and are keeping you accountable. Part of the reason I'm doing this YouTube channel is you guys are seeing me regularly. You're going to know if I'm not on track. You're going to hear my health updates. If I'm not consistently moving down and losing weight, then you're going to know about it. If I'm not consistently working on my finances, you're going to know about it. You're going to see, or you're going to see, oh, he disappeared. He's not being accountable anymore. What's he hiding? So those are ways you want to make sure that you are in somebody else's life and they're in your life, so that you can have that accountability and something to keep pushing you forward. While you've got it divided into 12 weeks, also divide it into two quarters. Also divide that into 12 weekly goals. There's a couple of ways to do this. If you're looking at something, and that can be that it linearly increases. Say you're running, or and you want to run 1 mile this week, and you're going to run 1.5 miles next week, and so on, and you're going to keep adding to that. The other way is that you might be something where you're adding percentages to it, like how much you're investing in stock, where it consistently compounds. This month I'm going to add 10% to what's in there. Next month I'm going to add another 10%, and that's actually greater because of the other percentage I already add. So you're consistently adding that in there, and you're having that compound interest on top of it. So depending on the type of goal, you can increase it linearly, or you can increase it exponentially. Say your goal is push-ups, and you start off with, maybe you do 10 this week, you can do 15 the next week. Focus on the action rather than the results, especially early on in your process. If you are doing the action, if you have a good plan, then you know that if you keep doing it, that's going to lead to the results. if you're a salesperson and you are consistently making those calls, you're hitting your numbers for the calls and the amount of numbers you need to hit, you know eventually those sales will come. Now, at some point, you'll want to reevaluate that if it goes too far. But that good thing about 12-week goals is that you have time to do that after this 12 weeks. You can make it through as long as you're doing the work. You can consistently move forward with the action steps that you've set in place. Now, I talked about 12 weeks, but it doesn't have to be 12 weeks. Not every goal is going to be 12 weeks. That's your main goals. Most of your goals in life should be about 12. You should set during 12 weeks. But there are going to be some things that take a lot longer than that. For instance, again, I talked yesterday, Gary Vaynerchuk wants to own the New York Jets. That's much further out. That's a very long-term goal that's motivational for him. For me, I'm trying to lose all of this weight. That's not going to happen in 12 weeks. I'm going to lose 45 pounds in 12 weeks, but I'm not going to lose all of this in 12 weeks. So you're going to have some goals that don't fit into that 12-week model. But it's a good structure for you to start, and then you're going to have your daily goals, your weekly goals, your monthly goals, again these quarterly goals, which is where I would focus at. Your yearly goals, you're having a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, etc. Those are all good things to have, but if you focus quarterly, you're a lot better off. So that's what I'm doing this year. I'll share the link to the book and the Audible below. If one of your goals is hopefully to read more, check those out. I love Audible. I've had it for 4 years. This is not sponsored, except it's a referral link down below because I've had it for, I know, going back to 2016 on this current account, so for 4 years, and then going back, I had another account before that, so I don't know how long I've been listening to Audible, but it's been for quite a while. I love that if you don't need a book that month, it rolls over to the next month now. It didn't always do that, by the way. You had to use it or lose it. And now they've also added where there's several Audible originals you can choose from that and you can download those as well. So really you're getting up to three recordings to do that, and I think it's a great opportunity. If you're looking for something besides business books, autobiographies are some of my favorites. I love Richard Branson's autobiography, The Virgin Way, is phenomenal. But check those out. Check out Audible. Yes, I get a referral link, but I think it's a great thing to add to your year, and I hope it really helps you out. For me, podcasts while driving and Audible have really made a huge difference. I don't listen to the radio. I'll put on like some Broadway every now and then, like when Greatest Showman came out, I listen to that. But for the most part, I would rather listen to something that's going to make my life better down the road, because I've got a long ways to go to continue perfecting myself. So tomorrow I'll share with you my goals. Please like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Hit that bell, click all, and please share with a friend and comment below. What are some of your goals? How do you determine to set them? Do you have long-term goals, short-term goals? I want to hear from you. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you soon.